I gotta record it like this for YouTube. I just remembered. However, one thing I'm learning to do, well, I've learned to do, is let the divine work through me. Because one thing about the divine, the infinite, and the supreme is it's always listening, right? The supreme is in harmony with you at all times. Even though you're not in harmony with it, you may not be in harmony with the supreme. The supreme is always in harmony with you because it's always listening, right? The supreme is very intelligent and it's always listening. So whatever you think, you transmit to the supreme, especially when you think it over and over and over again. No matter what it is, right? The supreme doesn't know good or bad. The supreme just is. Just like your thoughts just are. They're neither good or bad. But however, when you think and you transmit those images to the supreme has no choice but to make those thoughts a reality. There's no choice. And since you are connected to the supreme, or since the supreme is perpetually connected to you, you will act out your thoughts because now the supreme, excuse me, is ministering your thoughts through you. Why? Because it's law. You see what I'm saying? And what connects you to the supreme is your subconscious mind. Consciously, you're habitually thinking these things, and through the habit of thinking a certain way, you transmit those thoughts to your subconscious mind, and your subconscious mind is what pushes you to act, and your subconscious mind is how the supreme reaches you. See what I'm saying? So that's why it's important to become aware of the laws of the supreme. You see what I'm saying? Of the greater intelligence of God. You understand what I'm saying? Because things happen by law. It's not by how you feel. It happens by law. So it's definitely a such thing as divine timing. Everything you want, everything you ask for will happen in divine timing, meaning you're going to have to learn your spiritual lessons along the way of you getting to where you want to be. And so in order for that to happen, you have to understand that you can't be attached to people. No one else's experience is your business. Not your mom's experience, not your dad's experience, not your siblings' experience. Their experience is not your business. See what I'm saying? Of course you can love them. Of course you can want the best for them. However, you have to want the best for yourself first. Self-preservation is the first law of nature. When you cut yourself, when you get cut, your body heals itself. That's self-preservation. See what I'm saying? You have the ability to heal yourself, but you have to believe that you have that power. You see what I'm saying? If you don't believe you have that power, you'll never tap into it and it'll never happen. And you'll always be constantly putting external people and things before you. So you'll never be able to heal. You heal yourself. Nothing heals you. You heal yourself through the power of your subconscious mind. See what I'm saying? And so that's why it's important to allow the supreme to work through you like I do. I allow the supreme to work through me and allow everything to happen under divine law and in divine timing. I already transmitted to the supreme what I want, and I do it every day. So now I just allow the supreme to work through me and minister through me so I can go towards what I want and make sure I'm willing to learn my spiritual lessons along the way. And how you learn your spiritual lessons is you become self-aware and you stop and you say, okay, this is what's going on in my circumstance, right? And it's important to be aware that you are the creator of your circumstances, no matter what. And you are the creator of your circumstances through your intuition. You paint your circumstances, excuse me, not intuition, your perception, excuse me. You create your circumstances with your perceptions. Your circumstances just is. With your perception, you paint it and give it color and form. You understand what I'm saying? So that's how you create your circumstances through your perception. And so with learning the spiritual lesson needed to ascend to the next level, whatever circumstances appear in your experience, you use your perception to paint it a certain way. You understand what I'm saying? But in order to learn the lesson, it's important to stop and respond rather than react. Why? Because you created that circumstance. Whether you want to assume the responsibility or not, you created that circumstance. And that's the point of this video, is to give the message, to relay the message that you are responsible for your circumstances. Why? Because things happen by divine law. You understand what I'm saying? And so, being that you are responsible for all your circumstances, in order to learn a spiritual lesson from your circumstances, you have to not react negatively to the circumstances that you created. How are you stressed about a circumstance that you created? That doesn't even make sense. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why it's very important to be self-aware and to connect to the Supreme. And you do this by understanding how the Supreme operates, and it operates by law. You understand what I'm saying? So in order to learn the spiritual lesson, step back and ask yourself, how was I thinking in order for the circumstance to be what it is? That's how you learn your spiritual lesson. Why? Because now you can start thinking different. Why? Because now you are self-aware of how you have been thinking to create the circumstance that you don't like. It's very important to stop, observe, and respond. Because once you react to a circumstance that you create, you perpetuate it. You're angry and stressed about a circumstance that you created. The Supreme knows you created the circumstance, and no amount of blaming and perpetuating victimhood is going to allow you to escape the Supreme. There's no amount of blaming that's going to allow you to escape the Supreme. Now, these videos and the way I speak is not for everybody, because everybody doesn't want to be prosperous. Everybody doesn't want to be abundant. You know, we live in an experience to where you can be average and still be okay. You understand what I'm saying? It's transients that walk the streets and they're perfectly alive. You understand what I'm saying? But for someone that wants to thrive and not survive, you have to connect to the Supreme, and that way you understand the divine law. And that way you are aware that you are a co-creator and you are the master of your own experience. You are the star actor in your experience. You are the director and the actor. You see what I'm saying? So that's how you respond rather than react to your circumstances, because now you understand that you are the creator of a circumstance. And so when you understand that you created it, you can stop and say, okay, I was thinking like this to create this circumstance, and I did act this way. Okay, you know what? Now I can start thinking this way and start acting this way. And so now you are changing your thought habits. You are in control. It's not going to be an overnight thing, because it is law behind. So once you start changing the way you think, keep checking yourself. Keep checking on how you thinking. Wait, hold on. Let me stop thinking like that. Let me think like this, and start thinking that way. And that way, now your new thoughts can become the habit. You see what I'm saying? Your new thoughts can become the habit. And so now you are able to change your circumstances. Why? Because you've changed your thoughts. And when you change your thoughts, you change your actions. And when you change your actions, you change your feelings. No, when you change your thoughts, you change your feelings. When you change your feelings, you change your actions. Your thought, feelings,